once more, and welcome to another Brothers in Metal.
Hello, yeah, we're back again. It's been a while.
God, it's been longer for this one than it was for the last one.
It has, but we've had a few things going on, so we've got an excuse.
Yes, Manno here is now married.
Yes, so, yeah. I'm not allowed out so much as I used to.
Well, yeah, hopefully this is going to be the start of a more regular Brothers in Metal. We're going to try and get a few more out than we have done, but we'll see how things go.
Yeah, cool. So what's been interesting you recently? What's been in the news?
Been looking at a few gigs coming along. Obviously, last time we chat, Bloodstock's happened, and the new Bloodstock's been out. So I've got my ticket for that. I've got my Rockstock membership, so I'm quite pleased with that.
Good stuff. It's all lined up. I need to get mine before it goes up in price.
Well, yeah, and you did the wise thing, which is you waited until the discount's available. So you've actually done the economically sensible thing.
What do you think about the lineup so far? I mean, I know there's only been about 5 bands announced.
Rhapsody of Fire will win. That's pretty much it.
Everybody else fine. Immortal will be interesting.
It will be interesting, and I'm actually interested in Furion as well. Furion.
Therion.
I think they're bigger. It's one of those ones I haven't come across, but I've heard things about that sound good. So, yeah, that should be quite good.
We're missing the obvious highlight, which is, of course, Hospital of Death, which are playing on the Sophie Lancaster stage.
No, isn't it Lawnmower Death?
Oh, no, it's Law Mode. Oh, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, and Morbid Angel, that should be quite interesting as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm quite looking forward to seeing them. That would be a first for me.
In terms of, obviously, there's the Bodden gig as well. That's quite a good find.
I think it's a hell of a lineup. I can't believe they're putting those three together. That's like our dream gig.
Yeah, it's NC Ferrum, Amonomorph, and John Bodden.
I think it's going to be fantastic.
Good.
So that's slapped up. That's something on the calendar.
I've been listening to predominantly 2 albums recently, which is Irrational Anthems by Skyclad and Jaldaboroth, which are Ailstorm, Monty Python-esque metal. It's sort of in the style of Ailstorm, but trying to do the Monty Python thing. Personally, not as good as Ailstorm, but listenable and quite alright. And Skyclad's excellent, brilliant lyrics, properly decent folk metal.
Fantastic. And you've gone this long without mentioning the Rhapsody album.
Oh yeah, there's a new Rhapsody album. Yes, there's 2 new Rhapsody albums. We've had The Cold Embrace of Fear, which is an EP that's been overblown, as you'd expect.
That's Rhapsody style.
With like narrations and whatnot. And in fact, The Cold Embrace of Fear, which is what I just said, the new one, Frozen Tears of Angels, which is another good album from there. Done a really good job. One of the bands I haven't seen, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them at Bloodstock and seeing what they're like live. Yourself, what you've been listening to?
Well, I having stolen the new Rhapsody album from you, I was giving that a good listen, and it's been going back through the old catalogue. I managed to get a really good mix on the iPod of things that we've been listening to over the last year. So yeah, it's been kind of a bit of a random bits and bobs for me.
Oh, that's good.
I'm trying to think if there's a one standout album. I listened to ever since Children of Bodden announced, I listened to them pretty much non-stop. I was a relatively new convert to Are We Dead Yet? Because I got that a long time after I got Hate Crew. But now I'm getting back into that in quite a big one.
Excellent. Actually, we missed the obvious bit of news, and actually it feeds us quite nicely into today's topic. Of course, Iron Maiden UK shows announced.
Yeah, announced. Tickets have been bought.
Yep. I used my Iron Maiden fan club membership. I've bought them on pre-sale.
Shamelessly used them.
I read the fan club magazines when they arrive on the doorstep. We're slightly bummed because we were going to go to the Birmingham gig, but because we thought it would clash with Sonosphere, they've now moved Sonosphere. I don't have that much power. They
managed to move Sonosphere, which, interestingly, I don't know. Obviously, Iron Maiden headlined last year, but it puts it bang in the middle of their touring cycle. Now, I have not looked at the dates. It might be that it clashes with an earlier show, but I don't think so. So, I don't know. What do we think? Iron Maiden and Sonosphere? I mean, it might not work because they're obviously doing a European tour.
I don't think Iron Maiden will be at Sonosphere. They might do Download, I guess.
I'd be very unlikely if they played 2 years in a row anyway, I would have thought, especially given they're doing an arena tour.
I can't imagine doing an arena tour and headlining a big festival, but it could happen. It could be part of it.
And let's be honest, if Metallica are going to come back this year and they've had a year off, come back next year, they've had a year off, Sonosphere would be favourite.
Oh yeah, someone a contact of mine told me that there's a new album of Metallica's coming, or they got planned a new.
Well, last I heard, Lars Ulrich said it will be any time in the next 5 years.
Right, fair enough. That's for another discussion. That leads us nicely on to our subject for today, which is possibly a controversial one. I think we could possibly get internet lynched for this one if we're not careful.
Yeah, well, I think enough time has passed now to have a proper judgment on The Final Frontier.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, and there may be some of you, Final Frontier was Iron Maiden's 15th studio album.
Yes.
It was released on the 13th of August. No, it was a little later than that. It was the Monday after Bloodstock.
Yes, because we made a special effort to buy it and listen to it on the way home, which is probably not the best way to listen to the album for the first time, but still.
And I'm quite aware that it takes time for Iron Maiden albums to click. We've left it quite some time, and I think we've now reached the point where we can draw a few conclusions on it.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm still not sure I'm there, to be honest, but we'll have a discussion and see where we end up.
Okay, well, I mean, I've got a few items here written down, but I don't know if you've got a structured plan how you want to approach it.
Well, first of all, I think we have to put it in context of where Maiden have been going recently. It's very much a follow-on from the previous 3 albums, should we say.
Yeah, I think Dance of Death was a more typical metal album, and I think Metal Life Death has been going proggy, going towards that progressive side, and it's a continuation of that to an extent. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think that they're very much... They seem a band that are heading towards a destination.
Yeah.
I think. Whether you like that destination or not is a different question altogether.
Yeah.
But with each album that comes along, it gets just a little bit slower. The introductions get a little bit longer, and I think you have to work a little bit harder to get to the pace, to get to the... I'm trying not to say metal-ness, because the last thing you can't look at Iron Maiden and say they're not a metal band. Of course you can't. But they're sounding more and more like a classic rock band.
This is one of the things I drew upon as I was listening to the album this week, is that I don't want to say it doesn't sound like a metal album, but it doesn't. In fact, it doesn't sound like a metal album.
It's weird, though, because there are very few bands that have stayed the same and become successful. Obvious exceptions, Slayer and AC/DC, who do what they do, and they always still churn out albums by the bucket load. You see more often as you see people like Metallica, who will evolve over time, in their case become a bit more poppy, and shift records. Now, Maiden have obviously been through a wave of success, had a quiet period, and now having through another wave of success. And they're obviously a band that are evolving through time. But I don't know. This album seems a long way from the Trooper.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, you kind of got to judge it on its merits. As I say, Maiden not a band who've, in a sense, shifted in one dimension. They moved all around the shop. I think Final Frontier has elements of the kind of Seventh Son and post Seventh Son era to it. I think
it's very easy to compare it to Seventh Son because they're the most overtly concept albums, if you will, that Maiden have done. What do we think about concept albums? Just as a little tangent.
You mean any concept album?
In general, what do you think about concept albums?
I don't mind concept albums if they're done right. I think the problem with concept album is it's very easy to get sidetracked by the concept, which seems obvious thing to say, but you have to be very careful to avoid just like solely focusing on that at the expense of general songwriting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because you get songs like El Dorado, and El Dorado sounds to me like it's not necessarily one that fits the theme, but they put it on the album anyway.
Yeah.
And however many pictures you put in the album sleeves of satellites with El Dorado written on the side, it doesn't necessarily mean it fits the theme. But then musically, it fits right in with what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, El Dorado is an interesting one, because obviously it was kind of one of the first tracks everyone hit. I think it was the first track.
It was. And actually, on that note, I've got to say, I don't know whether it's because the first 2 songs on there were the singles, but for me, there's a definite break after the first two songs, which parallels for me Dance of Death, because the Dance of Death you had the first 2 singles, and then there seemed to be a break when No More Lies came on.
Yeah,
and I don't know, there seems to be a palpable change of pace